Good afternoon and welcome to today's recording regarding how to use Engage to check out a purchasing card or to make a purchase for your student organization. In order to do so, we are first going to go to our internet browser and navigate to Engage. The common web address to use is engage, E-N-G-A-G-E .mst.edu. That will take you right in. It will ask you to sign in. You can see that I'm already logged. From there, you will see a list of all your clubs and organizations. You do not need to do that in order to make purchase requests. In order to make your request, you want to go to Forms first. Now, before you fill out these forms, it's essential that you check with your student organization to make sure that what you're about to do can be approved by them. Each organization should have their own process for approving expenses out of their RSO account or utilizing funds allocated to them by the Student Activity Finance Board. Once you know that your treasurer will approve the request you're about to make, you will go to our forms page as we've navigated and go right here. This should be the top form for everybody on campus, purchase request form. You go here, mine says resume because I have already started some, but we're going to try to start a new one. I'll do a new submission. And you want to fill out this form as accurately as possible because the more information you give us here, the best service we can provide to you. When you fill it out, you want to fill in your information on here, right? I'm going to fill in myself. That's not entirely necessary. We're very sorry that this doesn't automatically populate for you. And our organization, I'm going to do S. This is the name of the organization we use to demonstrate and to honestly test out new features. The form will take you to page 2 and it will ask you some general questions. How are you going to spend the money? Is it going to be from your revenue account, your gift account, a split of funds? Is it going to come from another department? For us, for this purposes, we're going to use our revenue account and funds provided by another department. Okay, the contact name and phone number, we're going to use Mark Evans as our contact name. Mark is our new finance guy. He also goes by the credit card dude when you stop into his office in 228 Havener. And you can get him by phone at 573-341-7877. What type of expense will this be? We are going to today focus on how to use this to check out a card. But if you wanted to check out and make a reimbursement for an expense you've already done, it should be an expense that we can legally reimburse. We hope that we can reimburse for certain things. You can click that button and do what you need to there. If you need to order online stuff, Amazon, Staples, other places on the web, honestly, this is the best choice you can have. And we can process this in ways that might actually save you some money in the long run because we get to use this thing called the Show Me Shop. You can't check out a card to make the purchases specifically from Amazon and Staples online. And if you do so, we're going to flag it and you might not be able to check out a card again in the future. So we encourage you to take advantage of our ability to do it. We have a Prime account already, so you don't need to obtain one of those. The shipping generally arrives in 2 days. We do have some challenges that are related to COVID, but we also, we get things pretty darn quickly. So we really want you to take advantage of that. If we're paying a vendor, then you want to choose that one. But again, we're going to focus on use a card for direct order. Travel will most often involve actually speaking with Mark. So we want you to pay attention to that when you do so. Use a card for direct order. Now, if your card is one of these organizations, you do have some different resources available, but we are not those, as you may recall, because we're the test academic department. So going to the next page. The next thing we're doing is filling out, well, what are we planning to do? I'm going to go to Walmart, the description of items we intend to purchase. Again, we want to be as specific as possible because there might be some things that are a little weird, and our cards are incredibly sensitive with vendors. And if you sometimes when you try to purchase something that the card doesn't think you should be allowed to purchase for academic or educational purposes, then it will flag it, and you'll be stuck at the checkout with an inability to pay. So today we're going to buy soap, Cheetos, and umbrellas. I'm spending $458 on this. And when do you need the card? Well, the more time you can give us for this, the better, because purchasing cards are a limited resource, and the more opportunity we have to plan out the proper resource for everyone, the more adequately we can meet the needs of all organizations. So I'm going to say we need it October 1, 2021. I'm looking way ahead. Generally, you do not need to be 10 days in advance, or this would be 14 days in advance. But we do want you to give us at least a day's notice. If you're filling this out and you need it in 5 hours, we might not be able to accommodate your need for the resource. Next, now it's not as simple as needing the or just filling this out. Your treasurer needs to approve this. So we want you to enter in that person's name. Now, if you are the treasurer of your organization, do not enter your own email address, because it's unethical, and the system honestly won't allow you to approve your own things. And what we're doing is entering an email address for an approval. I'm going to enter Mark Evans. We're going to enter Allison Ayers. She's our assistant director in this office. We're entering that just because I know Allison's email address for sure, and we're going to move forward with that. If you do need to add a second reviewer, maybe your advisor likes to approve your things as well, click the button and add them there. If you don't need to, you just click the remove. We're going to go next. And what will happen is our submission is completed, well, almost complete. It's going to ask you if you want to review everything. You should double check stuff, but you can hit submit. Your submission's been sent, and you can track it here in your My Submissions. That's available right over here in Submissions under your account. From there, what will happen is your treasurer needs to approve it again. So somebody's going to have to log in. They're going to get an email to say, please act on this. If they click the link in the email, they follow the instructions there, we'll see a thumbs up on things, and you'll get a message from Mark Evans letting you know that you need to set up an appointment and stop by 228B in Havener to pick up your card. When you do that, we're going to ask you to do a few things. One, you're going to sign a form that states that you agree that you're going to bring the card back within 24 hours after your spending is complete. You're going to set a reasonable deadline for when you're going to return the card. So you can't just check out a card and say, oh, I'm going to be spending here and there for the next 30 days. That's not how we use that resource. It's generally available for about 24 hours. You promise that you're going to bring back a receipt, and your receipt will not have taxes added to it, because we are a tax exempt organization. If you do happen to bring back a receipt with taxes on it, we will send you out right away again to go fix it. So that's something that is a big no-no. We are not allowed to just accept taxes on something. And if your organization is repeatedly found violating this, again, you might lose the privilege to use that resource. The receipt itself has to include, and you're going to promise that this is going to be itemized. And that means that it is not the, when you leave a restaurant, sometimes you just get the receipt that says you spent $58 on, and that's it. It needs to actually say the name of the place, the date and time of the purchase, and it needs to say things like we got a cheeseburger with no pickles, 2 orders of French fries, a vanilla shake, a fillet of salmon, and whatever else is on there, item by item. Always on those purchases, You will not, you're going to acknowledge as well that you agree you cannot purchase gift cards. That is not allowed, and you cannot purchase alcohol. The final thing you'll get when you're picking up your card is a tax exemption letter so that you can use it wherever you're going to do your spending. Or there are some vendors in town, and this is why it's important that we know who you're actually going to visit. Some vendors do require a separate type of tax exemption card, and we have several of those already on file, and we'll hand the right one to you should you be headed out to do so. Now, if travel is involved with your purchase, you want to set up a meeting with Mark, our business and fiscal services head. He's the credit card dude, and he'll walk through some of the steps of that. And the reason you want to set up a meeting with him for this is because he has access to a few more resources for you that might save you money. It might also help you transfer liability to somebody else, because when you rent through Enterprise through Mark, you're able to be on the university's insurance when you're renting cars and vans and stuff. Mark has the ability to do some group travel things through airlines if you're flying somewhere. He knows all the steps you need to take in order to use a purchasing card to book a hotel. And sometimes it's not as simple as just taking a card along. So these are some good reasons to make sure that you're setting up that type of meeting with him in advance. And you really should give him as much notice as possible if you're traveling, because travel for an organization is not a last second decision. It is something that you're planning out. You know that you're scheduled for a competition, a conference, a meeting somewhere, at least a few weeks in advance. So the more time we can take to set up resources for that, the better. That concludes this training. Should you have any questions, we encourage you to email involvement@nst.edu, contact our peer involvement advisors, or drop in and ask Mark a question or set up a meeting first. Thank you and have a great day.